This is the database programming system. This is a 6 credit module. You had to okay, already your prerequisite is there. It's the object-oriented programming or programming in Java or database analysis and design. Already you study for the object-oriented programming language also and database analysis and design. Therefore, we are directly we use for the database programming and system also. Therefore, then already you study. I didn't repeat that is the database design and analysis. Already you know the ER diagram, normalization, everything. After finalize your database, then after you can create your program. Therefore, we are come that up to that level. Already you study in the level, semester 1 as a okay. Already you study that database design analysis, database analysis and design. In the ER, you create the ER diagram, and after that you finalize that normalize up to third normalization is the enough for the small application. You come for the normalized database. Then after that we want to create the database program. Then here is the description. Okay, in the we had the two program because of, before 2 years. This is the 2 module. Or one is the database system, and another one is the database programming. Now we said both are merged for the one module as a database system and programming. It's the 6 credit. The previous is the 4 credit for the 2 module. Now is the we reduce some object also. Now we come for the 6 credit for 6 credit. Then here you can describe the architecture and capable of the modern relational database management system and compare and contrast with the other database model, evaluate the effect of the data, restructure and take action to maintain the database. Data independent. Already you study for the data independent in the database analysis and design also. Now we also how to maintain the data independent. Describe how to database management system facility transaction management. That is important for concurrent and recovery. Implement and concurrent multi-user business application using form-based software. Build a simple distributed database system application approach design principle using the concept underlying the data warehouse, data mining, and OLAP application online application program system built on the a simple data warehouse system. The given component based design for the express data diagram and text, student will be able to implement the solution using the subject programming language. Now in the database programming, the database system and programming, we are using both the C# and Microsoft SQL Server. The database is the Microsoft SQL Server. Then here student able to compare the evaluate the different component based design from the multiple perspective, include the client perspective and architecture issue and implement issue. Student will be able to implement the event driven graphical user interface for web and rich client program also. Now here I am not touching for the web program. Window application program is used for the database system and programming in the window application program. Student will be able to to develop the database application that are used by the multiple concurrent user also. Then given program described for the multi-user database program, student will be able to design and symbol 2-tier architecture. We will study here also what are the architectures there. Now that configure solution component to the ensure the system run smoothly Okay, set up the store information and database implementation to the solution using the subject program language. Then we are using for the Microsoft SQL Server. We also start for the program. The student will be able to use the loop. Okay, some action or task we want to repeat again and again. Then we want to use that. Then the student will use the tool to help the build software product. Sorry, comparativity include the automated build environment, automated unit testing, code, and then we are going to use for the C# for the database system and programming language, and Microsoft SQL Server. That is we have the Microsoft SQL Server 2012. That is the free version for the education version. Others are enterprise. If you want enterprise or some other things, we want to license. We want to purchase that software. Okay, the SQL Server software. But that education version is enough for our education purpose. Therefore, we are using education version. Okay, then you on completion of this module, you can learn will be able to then you can create a relational database model, writing query SQL script. We are using in the programming TSQL, transaction SQL, client server system, transaction processing, transaction management, and concurrency are capable in there. Choose the professional vocation, okay, vocational or study area, adapt to manage and changes. Okay, you can change your programmability or program development ability, are aware of the environment. Okay, with a different environment, you can develop your program, operate the effectively and efficiently to work the community situation, because here end of this semester you had a group project. Therefore, you can work in the team, motivate the team. 4 or 5 students are one group and project. Because 1 or 2 assignments they are in the theory part, but others are practical part. Can't give the assignment, because if you give the also assignment is no meaningful. If you use the some project or something, then you can learn more thing. You can additionally you can learn something. If you have some problem, you can overcome that problem. Everything. Therefore, in here we are using that to 1 or 2 assignment for the theory thing, because the system computer sorry database system as a theory part, others are programming is a programming part. Therefore, we are giving the small group project. Then you can make for the database. You connect the application data as a database and add some record, delete or some calculation. Everything you can make. The previous students also they are making. Then learning content topic, the two application, process, security, context, communication technology, database programming, program to the database, interaction with the SQL, store procedure, concurrency, transaction, and managing concurrent access to the database. Okay. Already you study for the SQL, basic SQL language, but here we are studying some advanced. Therefore, doing that. This is the application program, develop the web application, develop the rich client application, rendering information from the database. I am not touching more touching about the develop the web application, because you are studying in the web application in the another subject. Web technology is there. Okay. Now we are more focused for the window application. The visual programming also more focus for the window application. Okay, this is the I have the one book used for the refer. Then I will give that book also. You can refer that one. The database program with the C#. And then I put that as the exam is a 60%. Okay, then 40% for the assignment. Okay, this is the syllabus. 6 credit. Little heavy like, because the database system and programming part also there. Now we come for the later I will do that as a computer system. Now I start for the computer, database programming. Database system. Later I will continue another 2 or 3 lectures, but this today is the database programming. Then we are using for the C#. Then what is will we do in this course? Okay, we are welcome to the master in C#.NET database programming. Why we are using the .NET programming, the .NET as a hot platform for the next wave of the technology development, because the 2000 after 2000 is a Visual Studios there. Then it's the always that's the new program. The Java is the old program before introduced, but the C# is introduced in the 2002 or 3 is the all are using that C#. The .NET is used to distribute the environment and environment that consists of the computer and device connected by the network. Then this .NET framework is a platform independent. You can run your program in the any operating system. In this course, we will learn how to create a C# program that interacts with the database, because we are used for the database programming need for the programming with the C#. Because if you create your database, okay, or want to access the database, access means you want to edit, you want to insert some data, you want to modify everything, you want to delete something, then you want to delete, then if you want to go there, it's a manually. But if you make the program, then easily you can handle for that database. You can update everything. It's easy for if you make the database, because otherwise the very complicated. If you develop the database, if you use directly the database without the programming, then very difficult to handle the database, because you have the database has many tables. The tables are have the relationship for each other. Then that is the complicated for the user, because user doesn't know the primary keys and foreign keys, doesn't know, because we are the graduate student, we know the everything, but the outside the public, they are not care about the foreign key or primary key, something like. But the table is also a relationship there. Then you want to update. If one place is updated, another place also going to update. Then if you directly use for the table view or something, it is impossible to use for the user. Therefore, we want to create the program. Okay. Then C# used for the audio.NET to interact with the database. We are using audio.NET objects. Audio.NET in the successor to the ActiveX data object. We call this ActiveX data object. ADO is the programming interface to access the data in the database. Now we are using the Visual Studio. It also support for the many other SQL server, not in the Microsoft SQL server, because it has the Oracle. It also support Oracle, MySQL, and other Access, Microsoft Access. Everything you can use. But in this course, we are use for the Microsoft SQL Server database, which is the Microsoft Premier Database software. Then we are using for the educational version. It is a free. I think you want to install that also in this module also. Already most of the people are using the C#. Now we need for the Microsoft SQL Server database. And you can download from the website. Is the education version is the free. I don't know in the cracked version for the other enterprise or something. But this one is enough for the education version, is enough for the our course. Okay, you can use that obtain for the relevant software. This is the .NET development toolkit that is a you can develop and download, purchase a trial version for the Visual Studio .NET. Okay, sometime trial version is there. Some in like anything you can download the SQL Server also you can find. We are in example also we are using as a one name as a NodeWin database. Okay, for the example, some function also there, some data already billion databases there. We are using some explain for the this some application, sorry, some function. Then we are using for the database name as a NodeWin. Okay, if you haven't, then I will share with you also. Last week, sorry, Visual Basic notes also I will share with today. This database contains the information for the fictitious, okay, NodeWin company which sell food product to customers. Sometimes it has a 7 or 8 table with the relationship. Then we are using that database for this course. And we also create our own database also. It's later. Okay. Already we study the .NET framework again also introduction to the .NET because .NET as a result of the many influence object-oriented graphical user interface, web, and entire design is there, component-based design, JVM, Java virtual machine, everything is there. Then we are using for the .NET framework. .NET software platform is a language neutral, mean there's a platform independent, many languages are there, language insensitive. .NET is the operating system and platform independent. Any platform you can use. Why is it? This meeting will be end with the 10 minutes. Okay. Yes, start with this problem. Okay. Only 9 minutes went it. 9:30. Anyway, okay, already started in the 25 minutes. Okay, 40 minutes will end with again you rejoin. That's a problem for thing. I think next week I discussed with my dean. The next week we most probably we had Zoom learn facilities. Then we can continuously we can continue our lectures because this is the interrupt for every 30 minutes or 35 minutes. Again join, again something that's motivate the students also. And then you also get the free data also. Okay. Then .NET is a completely new framework for the writing many type of application within the Microsoft environment. Window application, web-based application. The both also you can use for the database. Okay, now you already know that if you create that you are using for the email, then it also the database is there. You keep it your information, your user name, password, your all things. If your information and your mails, everything keeping the database. For another thing you are familiar for the Facebook, it also has that um, your information and your thing, what are the things you upload, your photos, videos, and they have to keep it in the database. Then they need for the when you need something, then directly you want to get it. Then it is point out the direction in the location. Then you can. Then therefore they are using for the database. And the .NET is used to develop the system component of interconnect the service to the communicate with each other over the internet. Okay, then you can use that some application in the desktop, but the database in the other server. Then through the internet you can use that database. That also. .NET is create the application to run on device such as a handle the computer and cellular phone also. Now is a Android application also. It is support for the .NET application. Okay, the .NET is space publicity available. Okay, now everywhere is a .NET is a platform independent. Anywhere you can run that program. Okay, .NET is a multi-language. Already discussed in the visual program also. Again also, I use that the VB, C Sharp, C++, and other J Sharp. These are the multi-development language development tool. In the development tools has a .NET framework. .NET framework has a many frame class library also. Then that library we can use for the development tool in the our program. Then it come for the application exe file form. Then we can install anywhere in the computer. Okay. Now we come for the frame class library. Already I mentioned the visual programming also. Then frame class library, it has 1,000 of predefined classes. Okay, in already you am familiar for that is a SQL. Want to read the SQL, then we want to read the SQL command. That's also object we can get there. SQL grid view, SQL connection. Everything in here is the class. It has some properties also. Then it is also already predefined classes. Already ready-made objects are there. We can use common subset across the whole platform and language also. Okay. The networking database, Excel, XML program, graphical user interface, web, etc. It is support for the. Then program is the portable operating system. Anywhere you can run this database programming also. Okay, this is the common language runtime must be present to execute the code. Then you are have a different language you can develop your program, but it has a common language runtime. Compiler, different compiler also the individual compiler also the each language has a individual compiler. After the compile, then you use for the common language runtime. It is convert to the machine language as a native language under the use for the operating system. Okay. Then is the monolithic application. The all source code compiled into the exe. Okay. Then also it has to interact with the database. Okay. That's a we call this a component, like component base API plus DLL standard practice in the window. It is use the database. Okay. Connect to the database. We have some object. Okay. Database connector is the adapter. It is connect to the database. Then we are using for the graphical user interface because the database I already mentioned is the table view is the boring for the if you enter some data in the table view is the boring for the user also. Then if you make for the graphical user view in the form view, the user easy to enter the data, update, delete everything easy. Then we use for the graphical user interface. You use the checkbox, radio button, checkbox. Everything is the graphical user interface. Then easy to enter the data. Okay, this is the only theory part. I will go very quickly, and we spend more time in the application. That's the programming part also because it takes a long time because now we are in the online. Okay, online learning. They have lot of problem which already the previous ones also small problem, but they did not overcome that problem. Also, if you typing mistake, something is not working like, then I run around the all lab. Okay, around the lab also, then that's the easy for. If you the face to face, you have faced some problem, then immediately we can solve. But if this situation, I only explain how to connect the database, how to add the data, everything only explain, but you have to do. That's the problem for here. But anyway, I will give the some demo video also, but that also sometimes is the, if you make small mistake also unable to find that mistake, because other people it's easy to find for you are where to your mistake, because you always the developer thinking about we write the code in correct way. It's like that's the thing. Okay, many component based, many motivation, the team programming there, then teamly you can develop the program, multi-language development also they are in the .NET framework. Code also you reuse in the other program also, the independent updating in the object, then frame class library also there, component set of components there, then that also useful to create your develop your programming quickly. Okay, in quick manner. This also already we discussed. .NET framework architecture, the Visual Basic, COBOL, C++, C Sharp, and other language also. They are programming language. Then they have the common language specification. Then basic class libraries as a window application and web application, they separate. But the common classes are there in the database, network connectivity, something other. The common class, operating system, Windows and Linux. Now we have the many operating system is there, iOS, everything. Now is the .NET framework is the platform independent. Any operating system we can run. Okay, this is the .NET Visual Studio .NET framework. We have a multi-language. The common language specification is there because some command, everything is the common language. Okay, it is specified for the all program, all programming language. Okay, then we use the ASP.NET for the web services and web for window application. But the audio.NET data and XML, also XML also we can use for the database. Okay, create the database XML. Then it also common for the both application. Okay, then we have the basic class library. This is a frame class library. It's all are common for the window application and web service application. Web services. Okay, then we have a common language transfer. Understanding the .NET framework. Okay, you can code, write the code here, compile. Okay, then it as a exe file. Okay, that if you make the engine as a exe file, then it refer for the basic class library. Okay, so we are using some classes, ready-made class already. .NET framework has some basic class. Okay, base class and frame class library also. Then that is here using, then class is loaded, then jitter is compile that program in the machine code platform, specify the instruction, execute the member. Then after this the common language runtime is convert to the machine code. The machine code is to understand our computer. Okay, if you program is the you keep some instruction to the computer, execute this tasks or something like that. The computer operating system support your application. Then common language runtime environment or language environment is a CLS work like as a virtual machine in executing all languages because it is a multi-language. All .NET language must obey the rules and standards in both the common language example. Okay, object declaration, creation and use, data type. Okay, already you study in the data type in the C++. Now you are going to study in the next chapter for the visual programming also data type, the language library, error and exception handling, that also you are going to study in the visual programming, how to prevent that errors, avoid that errors, handle that one also. Then we have the interactive development environment. Tools are in the C#. Basic class library, encapsulate the various primitive because you can create the many classes one by another classes also support. Provide the support for the number of service required by most real-world applications, some other service and connection, everything. You can get the service that also provide for the base class libraries. We broke in the number of discrete assembly also. Okay, this is the base class libraries. Already I mentioned data access, window forms, security, XML, so tracking, file input output, web form, everything is like, because if you want to create a web application, then you need for the web form. Okay, here is a window form. Both are different. It is only related for the web application, web form. Window form related for the window application. But this data access, security, that's also common for the both application, window and web application. Okay, that's a common language. Sometimes we had a common type system, common data type system, common language specification. Also later we study in the visual programming, but it's a common language specification. Now the second, the tier architecture, because the database also has a 3 layer. Then that also we are going to study in tier architecture. Okay, that's the tier architecture system, a group of interrelated elements forming a connectivity entity. That's a system. Architecture is style and method to design and construction. This we want to order that our connectivity entities. Therefore, we have the architecture. Okay. For you are thinking about the building architecture, also we have some layer, ground, the foundation. After you want to construct the wall, everything. Then after that is the top, roof, wiring, everything is they have the layer, easy to manage, pipelining. Okay, that's a, they have a separate layer for the building architect. Building section, they have that layer. Here also we have the that is the 3 layers are there. Okay, what is the layers here? Layers are information system. Client interact with our system. Therefore, we use the presentation layer, application layer, and physical management tier layer, resource and management tier layer. Okay, this presentation layer is the visually visualize your program, application program or database program in the client. Visualize. That's the HTML. Already you study the internet programming, the HTML. This is display the form, visual. Okay, because that people doesn't know inside what are they are. Only they only okay, give the input to the that application input. Then application layer, application logical layer. It is calculation something. Okay, for example, the bank, you want to withdraw the money. First, what did you check the balance? Then display the present day layer, display the balance. After you withdraw some money, then application layer calculate. They want to deduct the money from balance. Okay, then again want to show you a balance. Therefore, the application logical layer, you want to write the calculation in the application logical layer. All transactions want to show in your computer. Therefore, is the resource management layer as a store the data. Okay, that's a layer information system. Client, presentation tier, application tier, and resource management. We all some others are physical layer also. Because physically want to store the data. Because the data is going to store in the bit format. Again, call application layer calculate something change that is a present layer is a visually show the text or number for the client. Okay, that's a browser is there. This is the layer and information system. Presentation layer. As a information system need to communicate with the external entity, the human user and other computer. Also. Then any information system need to communicate with the external entity for the human user or other computer. Then we need for the presentation layer. Allow this entity to interact with the system. Okay, then this entity, so for example, in the database, it show all the data in the table form or something. Then after that, we want to display that form, data in the in your computer or in your mobile app mobile. Then it is convert to the. It also convert to the all number and text in which display the all detail in your computer. Okay, they implement it as a graphical user interface. Okay, you have the button something. Okay, your calculation is there, but in the application layer has the calculation. You don't know what is the you click the button. Okay, withdraw. Then if you withdraw it, then the calculation is happen in the application layer and deduct your amount and keep it that data in the database. Example, system access by the web browsing using plain HTML document. Okay, using the plain HTML document. The client is a web browser that only display the information prepared by the web server. Okay, the presentation layer in this case is the web server. Okay, how the data should appear to the user and how the user should interact with the interface. It is inside the presentation layer. How to display the data, all details are in the presentation layer. How to interact with the interface, that's also there in the presentation layer. Application logical tier. The information system do more than information delivery. They perform data processing, business logic, and calculation behind the rules, behind deliver something. Okay, then if you develop your database, okay, then you have to consider what the business logic and calculation. Okay, I think I don't know if I didn't teach that database analysis and design. Usually I teach that there's a business logic also in that module also. Now also I explain that what is a business logic. For example, now you are going to withdraw the money using the ATM card. Then the limitation is there. Maximum, 1 day maximum 2 lakhs. That's the business rules. Is there in the bank. Okay, more than, if you enter more than, then the feedback we want to give. Okay, your limit is over. Sometimes your balance is not enough for if you request the money. Therefore, then we consider the business logic and calculate. Another example is you are a member of a Unitech library. Maximum you can borrow the book. They have the business rules. Only 2 books. Permanent reference. They are only 1 day you can borrow in the night after
evening or 6 or 5 or something. They are what time they are going to close. That time before half an hour or something. Is other university that like I don't know our university what is the pattern. Is the one day you can borrow that book, night you can prefer, and again that now with the internet is there, we are not care about for the reading the book, because any doubt is there, we can go and see the many books, e-books also there, but in previous more than 15 years back, the no very few people has internet. Okay, so 2000 is the mostly available in the internet, everyone can access in the 2000 years, 99 or 2000. Then there is no problem. Anywhere we can check the books and download and keep it. But the previous you had that problem only depend for the books, and we use. Now here is the example, the thing, a program that implement the withdrawal operation from a bank. This program takes the request, check whether there are enough funds, verify. Okay, where withdrawal limit are exceed, create the lock entry for the operation, perform the operation against the current balance, and gives approval for handing out the money. This is the ATM card. Oh, not ATM, because if you withdraw the money in, you give the withdrawal slips in the counter also, they only check this thing. Okay, not in the ATM card. Okay, but in the withdrawal money using the thing, they are not in any limit exceed, but sometimes they think about if you want to immediately withdraw the 2 core, then they want to arrange the money, therefore they have some restriction. The business logic is there. Before 1 day or 2 days, want to inform, you want to withdraw for 5 core money. Then they arrange that amount. Okay, that's like here the algorithm are implement. Okay, then you want to write the code. Implement is the you want to write the program. This program take the request. First, want to check what are the amount you want to withdraw. Then withdrawal amount is calculated. Then there is enough fund in your account has the fund. It's okay. Then after verify the withdrawal limit exceed or not. Okay, if your ATM card, the maximum 1 day is at 2 lakhs. Then already you get the 1.5. Again, you request for the 1 lakh. Then is the you are withdrawal limit. Today limit is exceed. That is the thing you have. Then create the lock entry for the operation. For example, you are using one person using the ATM card. At the time, one person, another person, ATM card, anyone you can give your secret number, then anyone can withdraw. If you know that secret number, give you a card to your friend and give the secret number, they can withdraw in the any ATM card, ATM machine. At the time you went to the bank, you go to the bank and give the slip. Okay, but particular specific time only one transaction is happening. That is a lock entry for their operation. Only one transaction is happened. Then if you both are the same time, if your transaction happen, sometimes the balance not enough money is there. There's a lock operation is there, lock entry for the operation. One operation is there, there's lock. Anyone cannot access that particular record. Okay, this is the application logical layer you had to write. Okay, we'll study for the concurrent control everything in later also. This tier is often referred to as service, business logic, business rule, and server. Okay, we want to communicate with the server because if you have to get every calculation there, but all detail get from the database. Resource management layer. The information system need to data to work with. Okay, without data you cannot work. Then it's the resource management layers need. It's the resource management layers need. Data can reside in the database or other information repository. Okay. Then you want to get some other information from others also. Okay. For example, you are buying some goods or some things in the supermarket. So I have to give you a credit card or debit card. Then they want to deduct the money. Then that supermarket interact with your data, sorry, in your bank, which bank you have the card, you have the money or something. Then we had to use for the other information repository. Because they have already, the supermarket have their own database also, but that database having your data. Because you are using credit card for the particular bank, it's a different bank, not in the same supermarket bank. Because for Cargill has some, it's a bank, but they have a separate database, not in the same database. Therefore, you want to get the information from the other repository, mean other database, other company. Deal with and implement the different data source of the information system. Okay, deal with and implement different data source of the information system. Also refer to as the data layer. Okay, which indicate that is the implement using the database management system. For example, from the bank, okay, example, the RM, resource management layer, would be the account database for the bank. Okay, because sometimes they have the different database. It's easy to manage, separate, because we want to customer has the account. Then they want to keep it their staff. They also separate examine human resource or something they have already. They are not merged for everything. But the database is connect with the other database also, because who is handle this data? Account database. Who modify something? Then that detail need to get from the human resource database for detail. The staff detail only. Therefore, they use the separate database. Here is the RM, the resource management layer would be account database of the bank. Can also be gateway to recursively using the other information system also. Okay. Then you use the resource management layer. Okay, the database is the resource management layer, means physically we store the data. Okay, what are the data you want to get from there? Then we use, there is a resource management layer. Now you can understand what is the presentation layer. Okay, visually want to display the detail. Is the presentation layer. Some calculation. Okay, other business logical rules. Oh, I'll go to everything. So write the program in there. That is the logical layer. Logical layer, etc. Then resource management layer, then actually you want to get that information, all things in the, okay, already you study in the database design, it's a mapping, external, internal mapping, something. That is a thing here also is the layers are working the fly. Okay, we use the architecture history of the computing. First tier architecture. Okay, we use that's the monolithic information system. Everything in the one fact line. presentation, application logic, and resource management were merged into the single tier. Single tier, then we call the first tier architecture. Then two-tier architecture. Separation of the presentation tier. And other two-tier application resource tier as another architecture. It's become popular for client server system. Okay, that's a client server. Mostly we use that's a client server system. Only the information only give to the user, and it is a desktop application or anything. But other application resource are in the server system. Other ones are three-tier architecture can be achieved by separating resource management from the application layer. Okay, we have a one-tier architecture, two-tier architecture, and three-tier architecture. Now we are using we install our SQL server in our machine. Then we are using for the one-tier architecture or two-tier architecture, because client also we are using same machine, and server and application and resource are in our machine. But three-tier architecture is the different places has a server. Three separate for the three layer architecture. Now is the first tier architecture. Okay, main frame base and the system took place through the dumb terminal. Okay, then your user has a dumb terminal. Monolithic information system. It is a monolithic information. Presentation application layer and application logical and resource management were merged into the single tier. Many of these old systems are still in use also. Okay, some are using. Due to its monolithic nature, it does not provide any an entry point from the outside except the channel to the dumb terminal. Okay, consider as a black box. This is the one-tier architecture. What is the advantage? Easy to optimize the performance, the highlight. No context switching, because one person is using, then there is no any context switching for the other person. No compatibility issue. No client development. Okay, directly only one application is enough. Maintain and deployment cost also less. Disadvantage is a monolithic piece of the code, high maintenance are there for the code, hard to modify. Okay, like a qualified programmer for the system. Okay, it's easy to develop, therefore we are using. Now we are not using, this is the first tier architecture, but the second tier architecture. Client as a separate layer, as a presentation layer, application logical layer, and resource layer as a server. Now you can think about, if you use the bank detail, you want to see your balance, then you can through the mobile app you can use. The mobile app is there, that is the presentation layer. Not in the bank now, is in mobile phone also. It's my dialog app, some application logical layer, resource management layer. These are the server. It is okay. In the particular company has that one, but we call for the all are in the information system altogether. But the server is running in the particular place. But okay, student, another 10 minutes we will end up, and again join 11 o'clock. I will finish. Okay, today. But if you come Zoom learn, we can continuously 2.5 or 3 hours we can continue our lecture. Okay, another time also you join, and 11 o'clock I will finish it. Now is yes, because this is the problem. Every 40 minutes we have to terminate. After 30 minutes over, half an hour over now. Okay, now with the thing, two-tier architecture. Coming of the PC was the real push to two-tier architecture. Separation of the presentation layer from other two layers. Client server system with thin client or fat client. Use the remote procedure code to communicate between the tiers. Okay, you can use the internet or something, you can communicate with the as a server. Need for the standardization for inner tier communication. Advantage, portability. Okay, you can anywhere you can use it as the portability. No need for context switching or call between the components for key operations. Okay, there is no any context switching. Disadvantage, limited scalability and legacy program as a blow up client. Okay, we want to control the client, everything. That's the thing is a disadvantage, limited scalability. Okay, you can expand very difficult sometimes. Three-tier architecture, client presentation layer, application logical layer is a separate, middleware, and resource management layer. Three are separated. What is this? The former created island of the information where a set of client would communicate with the server but not with other server. Now we can communicate with the other servers. Okay, if you have that things, the two-tier architecture, the server and application logical, everything is in the one server. Now is the anywhere we can communicate with the other server. Okay, separate the RM from the application logical, the additional middle layer between the client and server. We have the integration logical and application logical and calculation, everything there. Okay, lead to introduce of the clear resource management layer interfaces. Okay, you want to make the interfaces to communicate with the application layer. Good at dealing with the integration of the different resources. Okay, you can manage the resources also. Advantage, scalability by running each layer on a different server. Okay, we can run for the everything is a different server. Application is a different server. Resource management is another server. And presentation layer is the client server. There is a client handler. Scaled by the distributed application logical layer across many nodes. Then many people can access at the time. Additional tier for integrated logic. Flexibility needs to modify everything. Disadvantage, perform loss is distributed over the internet. Okay, we want to depend for the internet because everything in the separate layer. Then data is passed in the logical layer to, application layer to resource management layer is through the internet. It also depends for the internet part. Internet traffic source there. That is a disadvantage. Perform when the integrated thing different layer. Also you want to maintain the 3 layers also. Okay, then 3-layer architecture. We are using the graphical user interface. In the presentation layer, middleware server, and the database and legacy system, and the resource management layer. Resource management layer. The middleware refer to the software which is common to multiple application and one build on the network transport service to enable ready develop of new application and network services. Okay, because it want to communicate with the application layer Okay, from the application layer to management resource layer, then application want to communicate with the presentation layer. We only need for the internet network services. Middleware typically include the set of components such as a resource and service that can be utilized by the application either individual or in the various subsets. Example of the service as a security is in need. Okay, directory and naming, end-to-end quality of service. Okay, support for the mobile phone. Everything is need for the example of this service are need. Example, object management group, J2E, because this enterprise edition for development for the enterprises, they are using Java 2E, Microsoft.NET. Then middleware feature allow communication through the standard language across a different platform. Okay, we have a platform is a different platform, operating system is different, but it also support for the any operating system between the legacy and modern application. Okay, you are develop them modern. Take care of transaction between the server. Okay, don't any interrupt to the thing. Data conversion, authentication, because only authorized person can access the database. Because if you use the, for example, in that if you use your credit card in the supermarket, they allow for the particular supermarket to access the data. Okay, they are consider your card is okay, but anyone can use your card also. That's another problem. If you lost, you want to inform immediately in the particular bank, you can block your card. Otherwise, but they check for that card has the balance information, something something like that. Take transaction between the server, data conversion, authentication. Okay, communication between the computer, everything take care about that. Provide the runtime environment for the component in the middle tier. Component lifecycle and management, transaction, event and security services. Provide the connection to the database, mainframe and legal system. Separate the client tier from the data source. Okay. Clean, separate the user interface and presentation logic from the data. Okay. If the client requires something, then the application layer requires that the client requires in the resource management layer. Then what are the resources or any data need? Then the application layer get from that data and display it to the pass to the data in the presentation layer. Okay, that's the activity in the middleware feature. Okay, then you can increase your web's thing, entire architecture, client. Okay, you can increase the number of layer also, but it is sometimes it's a maintenance, it's difficult. Maintaining is difficult. Okay, entire architecture, client web browser is the client outside, but the information system has a web server, HTML filter, application layer as a presentation as a web server, and middle layer also there, middleware as application layer, logical, and resource management is another layer. Then we can increase the number of layers. Okay, we are 1 minute is there. Server and do the program. Without server cannot do anything. Therefore, here I use the Microsoft SQL Server 2012. Okay, Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, give me some time. I stop that server because that's. I will explain later also how to automatically we can run that server. Okay, this is the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. If you install the Microsoft SQL Server, then you can open that Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Then we can create that database. This database we can use our program. Therefore, we are using that since we already some database there. Okay. If you haven't that, I will next time I will give that is a Northwind database also. Northwind I will give to you later. Okay, this I want to change because I am in the different administrator mode. I am going to have my account, use account. That is the thing we can access for everything. Okay, now it's at 10:54. I am going to stop. Next week also, same IP address. Sorry, same Zoom ID and password also. You come for the 9 o'clock for the Wednesday. 9 o'clock. Anyway, I will send the mail also. Later I will. Okay, now I am creating that Moodle LMS also. Then you can use the later. I will give the link later also. I will upload the everything as I no extra material you can learn for this. Japan reference books, everything I will give to you. Okay, this is not in the difficult subject, not in the easy subject, but you want to learn thoroughly also. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to stop. Okay, we'll meet next week. Any problem you can talk?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
No, nothing. Okay, now I stop. Leave that meeting. Thank you very much for participating for my lecture.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.